I've been married to Becky for 4 years. Just 3 weeks ago, she was my whole world. I loved her deeply and would have done just about anything for her. Now, I can't even see her as a human being. Before we got married, I was clear with Becky that I wanted a family someday. She shared the same vision and said she wanted that for us too. But after the wedding, she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to have kids. That decision hurt me, but I accepted it because I loved her. We bought a small farm together, and Becky decided to make it her full-time job. Life was beautiful. I felt blessed. Whatever Becky wanted, I made sure she got. A 6-figure thoroughbred horse? No problem. Importing a herd of Brahman cows because regular cows were too boring for her? Sure. A brand new diesel truck every single year? Done. I never hesitated because taking care of animals was her passion, and I wanted to see her happy. Providing for her and our life on the farm never felt like a burden. Then, a few weeks ago, everything changed. Becky's best friend, Emily, reached out to me and asked if I could meet her privately. I thought maybe she wanted my help planning some kind of surprise for Becky. I was wrong. Emily came to the house while Becky was out, handed me a folder, and shattered my entire world. Inside that folder was evidence of Becky's affair. For the past 8 months, my wife has been sleeping with our married veterinarian. Emily and Becky have been best friends for over a decade, so Emily knew every detail. She sat with me as I went through the proof, text messages, call logs, and everything else. The man Becky's been seeing is someone I trusted. Someone who bills me thousands of dollars in vet services. A man I see every Sunday at church, where my father-in-law is the pastor. This man shakes my hand every week while his wife and I remain completely in the dark. Becky and her lover weren't even discreet. They were sleeping together in my house, our house. Almost every time Becky left for a trip, it was really a getaway with him. One time, she even sent me 2 states away to pick up a trailer just so she could have the house all to herself. The new clothes, the heels, they weren't for me. They were for him. The worst part is that Becky is pregnant, and it's not mine. I know this because she admitted it in text to Emily. Emily also told me that Becky's parents know everything. Her father, a pastor, someone who's supposed to lead others with integrity, actually encouraged Becky to keep the truth from me to protect their family's image. Meanwhile, I've been walking around for weeks excited at the thought of becoming a father. My friends and family know the truth now, and I'm humiliated. I don't know how someone can be so evil. It's been a few weeks since I found out, and I've spent that time quietly getting my affairs in order. Becky has no idea I know what she's been up to. I've gathered video evidence to confirm everything and hired a divorce lawyer, someone completely outside our town to keep things discreet. Thankfully, my state isn't a community property state, so according to my lawyer, I'll likely walk away from this divorce in a solid position, especially given the evidence. I've even had a real estate agent assess the value of the house and farm. I'm ready to move on, but now I'm torn about how to end this. My plan involves Thanksgiving. Every year, Becky's family hosts a big service at her father's church. I want to look her parents in the eye and give them a chance to lie to my face about their daughter. My idea is to have the divorce papers served at my in-laws' house, right before Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone will be there. Her parents, her siblings, her grandparents, their friends, and even Emily. Once the papers are served and Becky realizes what's happening, I'll leave. That's my moment to walk away for good. My best friend thinks this is a bad idea. He's concerned about my safety since most of Becky's family carries firearms, and he doesn't want me to be outnumbered. Personally, I'm not too worried. The alternative would be to serve the papers at our house and avoid the drama entirely, but that feels like a letdown after everything I've been through. When all of this is over, I plan to leave this town and never look back. As for Emily's motives, I'm still unsure. Maybe she told me out of jealousy. Emily isn't married and struggles financially, so maybe watching Becky live the life she wanted became too much for her. If she knew about the affair for 8 months, why wait until now to tell me? I don't know what to believe. I'm sorry if this sounds scattered. My mind is all over the place, and I haven't been sleeping well, but I'm determined to see this through. Becky's betrayal broke me, but it won't destroy me. I just need to decide how to end it, quietly or with a bang. Thanksgiving morning came faster than I expected. I hadn't slept much the night before, replaying every detail of my plan in my head. I kept picturing Becky's face when she realized what was happening. Would she cry? Would she try to talk her way out of it? I didn't know, and I wasn't sure I cared. All I knew was that I needed to follow through. I got up early, dressed in my best suit, and packed a small bag. Just essentials. Clothes, important documents, and the keys to my truck. I stood in the kitchen drinking coffee, staring out the window at the farm I'd worked so hard to build. The animals grazed in the distance, unaware that their world was about to change. I used to feel proud of this place, but now it was just a reminder of everything I'd lost. At noon, I met with the process server. He was a professional, calm, collected, and completely unfazed by the drama he was about to drop into Becky's life. We went over the timing one last time. He'd show up at the in-laws' house just before dinner started, walk inside, and hand Becky the papers. I made sure he knew to be respectful but firm. No teatrix, no yelling. Just business. I arrived at the church service a little early. Becky's family was already there, greeting guests and playing the part of the perfect, righteous family. Her father stood at the pulpit, shaking hands and smiling like the man hadn't encouraged his daughter to lie and cheat. It took everything in me not to call him out right there. Becky was in the front row, chatting with her mother and cousins. She looked happy, almost glowing. If I didn't know the truth, I might have felt a pang of love for her. But all I saw was betrayal. When the service ended, everyone headed to her parents' house for dinner. I followed, keeping to myself as Becky laughed and joked with her family. She had no idea her life was about to fall apart. The house was packed. People were hugging, drinking, and catching up. I stood off to the side, holding a glass of water and watching the clock. 5 minutes to go. My heart was pounding, but I kept my face calm. I didn't want anyone to suspect a thing. Right on time, the doorbell rang. Becky's mom answered it, and the process server walked in. The room went silent as he called Becky's name. She turned, confused, and stepped forward. He handed her the papers and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "You've been served." The color drained from Becky's face. She stared at the envelope in her hands, then looked at me. "What's this?" she whispered. I didn't answer. I just set my glass down, grabbed my bag, and walked to the door. As I left, I heard her mother shouting, her father demanding answers, and Becky crying. I didn't turn around. I didn't owe them anything. I climbed into my truck, started the engine, and drove away. The sun was setting, casting